What's good, Internet? My name is attackslug, and welcome back to WWE 2K14. 30 years of WrestleMania. It is time for WrestleMania 7. We have some very simple objectives here. Big boot, leg drop, pinfall.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the WWE Championship. Making his way to the ring, weighing 310 pounds, the WWE Champion, Sergeant Slaughter.
The WWE Champion, Sergeant Slaughter, has turned his back on America.
How dare
Slaughter
you.
reinvented himself, wrote a whole new playbook. If Hogan expects to win this match and the WWE title, he'll have to pull out all the stops.
It is easier to keep the title than it is to win it. Hogan will have to dig deep if he expects to defeat Sergeant Slaughter.
Introducing the challenger from Venice Beach, California, weighing 303 pounds.
It's a flag match,
The
folks.
immortal Hulk Hogan.
It's mayhem here in the City of Angels. It's Hulk Hogan.
I have never heard an ovation like this for anyone in my life.
Hulk Hogan waving Old Glory as he makes his way to the ring. Looks to be in the best shape of his entire life.
He keeps saying that. And so I welcome you to a fine Tuesday here on the program. Got some Raw things to discuss and also a handful of news bits, if you will. One of which being that Jack Swagger finally has his debut for mixed martial arts with Bellator at the end of January. So best of luck to Mr. Swagger in his actual real fighting whole bit of business. So, I mean, excellent amateur background there, but also his age is not going to help him. So that's kind of where that falls. We'll see how it goes, but he is certainly a big hoss, so we shall see at the end of January with Bellator. So that's cool. Also, Vince has taken out and cashed out even more stock. Now, if you recall, when Vince formed his Alpha Entertainment for his XFL revival, he cashed out a whole bunch of stock. He just cashed out another $22 million in stock. So, one would certainly speculate it is for more XFL business. So, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, that is still XFL 2020, you guys. It's happening. It's totally happening, right? Yeah. Anyway, moving on to Monday Night Raw. Why is Slaughter getting stuck with the reversals here? Seriously, Sarge. I know you were on G.I. Joe, but seriously. Hogan, uncharacteristic, going to the top and dropping that double axe handle and then posing and taunting the man and hulking up on... Nope. Sorry, Sarge. Sorry, Sarge. Gonna hit that torture rack on Sergeant Slaughter. There we go. So, Raw. Now, Raw started with a Ronda Rousey. It was supposed to be Ronda opening the show, and I'm like, they don't have her open the show. Come on, that's a trick. That's a trick, and yeah, it was a trick. It was a beatdown, and they ended up in the main event. But they put Natalya through a table, and then had to replace her later on in the evening with Ember Moon. So that was how kind of that ended up hashing out, and that's fine. I will say, as compared to last week, at least some things happened on Raw this week. They weren't just completely and totally spinning their wheels. They were a little bit by having Scott Dawson fight the Lucha House Party rules. He fought. It was basically a 1-on-3 handicap match. So, and people were like, "Oh, come on! What is the end game for this story? Are we going to add a third member to the revival, or like, where do you go with this? Seriously, where even is the ending point?" And also, we had that terrible open forum with Alexa Bliss last week, right? And that was just terrible. And what do when something is that terrible? They do it again. So they did it again. And it was also terrible. And I'm like, really? Really? You guys? I feel like a lot of times they'll have an idea and go, this idea works, and then do it 4 times because they think, oh, this totally works. Like when they had Jinder mocking Nakamura. Alright, let's just keep doing that for like 3 weeks. And I'm like, no, it wasn't good the first time. It wasn't good the first time. So, that being said, the one thing that did come out of that Alexa Bliss open forum with Sasha and Bayley, was actually mentioning on the air the desire for a women's tag team title. So, there we go. They've mentioned it. We know it's happening. The crowd popped for it. So it's just a matter of when. When is this going to happen? Mania, perhaps, is the idea, I guess. But it's just, like, we know it's coming. We've assumed that it's going to be happening since Evolution. Like, the belts got leaked out or whatever months ago. So it's just a matter of, alright, well, where is these things? Just announce them already. People are already ready for this to be a thing. They're already ready for whatever this is going to be, tournament or otherwise, and just get on with it, as they say. Get on with it. Hey, Sarge! Times 2. Times 2, Sarge. Times 2. And then pin the man. B. I'm holding B. Just do it. Just do it. A 2 and a 3. And that's it. Easy peasy.
Here is your winner and new WWE Champion, Hulk Hogan.
He got him. Hogan did it for WWE and the United States of America.
History has been made
USA.
tonight.
USA.
Unprecedented three-time winner of the WWE title. Hulk Hogan, the WWE champ once again.
Undoubtedly, this has been the most memorable night in WWE history, and you are a part of it. I've never seen anything quite like this. The gold, once again, around the waist of Hulk Hogan.
Now, speaking of Hogan and WrestleMania, he does hold the record for the most consecutive main events in a row at WrestleMania. A record that a lot of folks thought that Roman Reigns was on track to totally either match and or break, but with the very unfortunate news of Roman Reigns and his illness, that's just not going to happen. So, people who are like, oh man, I can't believe Roman's going to break that record, I don't think you're going to see Roman at the main event of Mania next year. It's just not possible. It's not feasible. Moving on to WrestleMania 8, Savage versus Flair. Woo! Elbow drop, hidden objective, and win with a leverage pin.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the WWE Championship. Approaching the ring, accompanied by Mr. Perfect from Charlotte, North Carolina, weighing 232 pounds, the WWE Champion, Ric Flair.
This is what it's all about. The gold is on the line. The WWE Championship, held by Ric Flair, and Macho Man wants it back.
Now, if you want to be fair to Flair, you got to be fair and say, that's one heck of a road.
That's Heenan's line. Fair to Flair.
Out of the reigning champion, Ric Flair.
Limousine riding, kiss feeling, wheeling, dealing, son of a gun. Woo! Oldest ride and the longest line. Hey, Fink.
Introducing the challenger from Sarasota, Florida, weighing 245 pounds, Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Listen to this place go crazy. A standing ovation for the Macho Man.
Oh, this match is going to make history, JR.
All the weeks of humiliation and frustration, all the verbal taunts and the alleged photos of Miss Elizabeth. And now it's all come to this. Ric Flair may have done himself no favors in enraging Macho Man as much as he has.
Yep. The Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour. Yeah. Elsewhere on Raw, things that happened was that Dolph Ziggler turned face, turned on Drew McIntyre on the Drew McIntyre Appreciation Night, and they had a match right there. And I'm like, you build to that. You don't just do it on free TV, or if you do, you still have a couple of weeks to build to it by. I get it. It's December, right? And you gotta fill time somehow. Because whatever. But man, again, you had Drew and Dolph as a team for a while there, and you had them do all that stuff, and just having your one night, oh, I'm going to turn on you now, and then we're going to have a match right now. And I'm like, really? Really? Now, to be fair, they could totally build to another match. and I'm sure they will build to another match, right? But at the same time, seriously, having that match right there in front of that live crowd on free TV is like, what are you doing? You could have built something there. At least a little bit of something for this face turn for Dolph Ziggler. And then what does Dolph do once he's done with Drew McIntyre? Or once McIntyre is done with Dolph Ziggler? I guess is a more important question. Because, like, I don't know. You've certainly had enough heel turns, or you certainly have enough heels on Raw that you could have used, somebody else being face in that position. But also, I don't know what you do with Dolph at this point in his career. So there is that. Also happening on Raw was Rhino getting fired and Heath Slater being made into a referee to keep his job as a referee. I'm like, hey, Teddy Long did it, so why not Heath Slater? And honestly, number one, I'm glad they're giving something to Heath Slater, because Heath Slater I've been a fan of for a long time, and he pretty much knocks it out of the park whenever they actually give him something to work with. When he was getting squashed by legends, fantastic. When he was the hottest free agent in the business, fantastic. So give Heath Slater something to do, because he's awesome. And Rhino, from people who were there in the arena, said during the commercial, seems like he's actually retiring. So kudos to Rhino for having a very, very long and storied career. If that is actually true and he's actually hanging up the boots and not just going to end up back on Impact, which wouldn't surprise me with the way that wrestling retirements go. Would not surprise me at all. Dean Ambrose apparently playing a bit of 2K19 and wearing a gas mask on the show. Like, are you Bane now? What is happening? And then Renee Young snapping at Corey Graves to stop asking questions about a man and his wife. If we were still in the Attitude Era, at some point, Renee Young would totally get curb stomped. But, it's 2018. It's probably not going to happen. Probably not going to happen. But that's what would have happened back in the day. Accidental curb stomp, but a curb stomp nonetheless. Or I'm sorry, I thought they banned the curb stomp. Or I'm sorry, they actually didn't, because Seth said, no, it's fine, you got the wrong news. I don't know anymore. It's a lot to keep track of. Oh!
Oh, come on! Perfect broke up the 3 count. Come on, somebody do something! The ref trying to separate Perfect and Savage. Wait,
the Nux, the Nux!
To Flair. Flair with something in his hand.
Pop.
Flair used that foreign object on Savage, and Macho Man is down.
Dirtiest player in the game. Alright. Escape the figure 4 leg lock as Miss Elizabeth heads to ringside. So he's doing a little dance. Yep. Flair. So good. He's so good. And then I mashed the buttons from the breaking point. I don't even have to try, really. I'm on normal, but that was actually pitifully easy, to be honest. And then win with a leverage pin, which means I gotta hit him, pick him up, and then do a leverage pin. So, I guess I gotta do another elbow drop or something. We'll see. We'll see. Reversal! Leverage pin! 1, 2, 3. That would've been great. It would've been great. Sorry, Flair. It's not fair to Flair. That's not fair to Flair. Dig it. Yeah. Oh, no. Alright. That's a lot more than the other one was. Resiliency! Jeez, man. Relax there, Flair. This is my head's all damaged from those freaking brass knucks, man. Not cool. Not cool. Rolled him up. Rope break. Because of course it was. Because why wouldn't it be? Really? Roll me up? How about a rope break for you, Flair? What was that? That was still near the ropes. Lame. Lame, 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 lame. Go into the post. Into that solid steel post. Baby. And then stop mud hole and walk it dry. Anyway, elsewhere, besides all of that, we do have a very intriguing segment announced for SmackDown Live this evening. And that will be your new WWE Champion, Daniel Bryan, on Miz TV. And given the history of Bryan and The Miz, that should be very fascinating to see how they handle that from a storyline perspective. Outside of Miz saying, hey, I was right. Bryan, needed that extra edge to win the title back. He needed to cheat to win, essentially. So, I'll be real curious to see how they play that. And then Snapmare on Flair. Signature On Flair. Dropping the knee. Heading to the top. No, heading to the... I hate the diagonals. Don't get to the... I hate you so much. Hitting the elbow drop. Don't dodge it. Aha! And then... Yep, replays. No, pick him up, pick him up, pick him up. And then roll him up. Not that way. Freaking rope break, man. Not cool, Flair. Not cool. Pick him up. Roll him up. 1, 2, 3. And we're done.
Elizabeth in the ring to celebrate, and Flair is irate. Flair plants a big kiss right on Elizabeth. Elizabeth going right after Flair.
Smack.
Oh!
Flair flop. Flair flop.
And now it's mayhem.
Here is your winner and new WWE Champion, Macho Man, Randy Savage.
And then Pyro. Gotta love some Pyro. At WrestleMania.
History has been made at WrestleMania 8 as once again Macho Man has regained the WWE Championship.
And that's pretty much before Vince put Macho Man on commentary because he was too old, and Macho just like, you know what, I'm going to go to WCW and wrestle some more. And so tomorrow, we have Yokozuna versus Bret the Hitman Hart, and spoiler, also Hulk Hogan there at the end. I'm Attack Slug. Thanks for watching. More videos every day. I'll see you next time right here on this channel, and I'm out.